Ambassador Sarah Chen pressed her hand against the viewing window of the transport vessel, eyes fixed on Harmony Prime as it expanded before her. The enormous space station resembled a metallic flower drifting through the void, its arms reaching outward with ports capable of receiving craft from countless different planets. Today marked what everyone believed would be humanity's greatest achievement. Sarah smoothed down her Navy diplomatic suit and studied her reflection in the glass. Perfection mattered. The entire universe would be watching, or at least that's what Earth's people thought. Sarah understood the real truth. She'd seen the secret messages. She knew exactly what awaited them inside that gleaming station. "Ambassador, docking begins in 15 minutes. Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled through the speakers. "The team is prepared for the last briefing." Sarah made her way through the narrow passages toward the central conference area. Their vessel was far smaller than Earth's warships, deliberately designed to appear harmless. No weapons showed, no protective plating, just a basic diplomatic craft transporting humanity's chosen representatives to sign the most significant agreement in human existence. 23 other humans waited inside the meeting space. Similar diplomatic outfits in blues and grays covered their bodies. Each person carried the appropriate dignity expected from Earth's finest ambassadors and cultural experts. Dr. Marcus Webb sat up front, his heavy glasses catching the light while he studied digital files on his device. Cultural specialist Lisa Park beamed cheerfully while arranging traditional human presents for their alien contacts. Security Commander Jake Morrison stood by the rear wall, hands locked behind him in proper military fashion. Anyone observing this group would see precisely what they should see. 24 of Earth's brightest individuals assembled to speak for humanity on the universal platform. Ambassadors, researchers, cultural specialists, and minimal security personnel, a flawless image of peaceful goals. Sarah grasped the reality was completely opposite. "Friends," she started, her tone steady and controlled. "In 12 minutes, our ship connects with Harmony Prime. We understand our purpose here, and we understand what truly awaits us." Dr. Webb removed his spectacles and wiped them carefully. The intercepted transmissions were crystal clear. The Universal Council decided humanity presents too great a danger for their society. Today's event is planned to destroy Earth's leaders in one swift attack. Lisa Park kept smiling, though her gaze turned sharp and focused. "The Zephyrians think their crystal bodies make them better than organic beings. The collective assumes their shared consciousness provides flawless teamwork. The Vortuk believe their warrior heritage makes them undefeatable." Jake Morrison moved forward a step. "They're mistaken on all counts. They assume our recent entry to space travel means we're backward. They think our friendliness and handshakes signal weakness. They believe our desire for harmony means we're incapable of combat." Sarah gave a small nod. "Everyone in this room trained for this precise situation over the last 18 months. We anticipated this moment. We knew they'd try eliminating us before we became a challenge to their control." The vessel trembled as it neared the landing zone. Through the small windows, the interior of Harmony Prime became visible. The station was massive, with passages extending kilometers in all paths. Artificial weight systems maintained everything properly positioned, and the atmosphere would be suitable for most universal species. "Final gear inspection?" Sarah commanded. Each person started their preparation sequence. Dr. Webb's case appeared to hold basic research papers and cultural information about Earth. Concealed. Within were parts that would combine into something completely different at the proper moment. His heavy spectacles held advanced sensors capable of identifying energy patterns and structural vulnerabilities across the station. Lisa Park's traditional jewelry looked like genuine human artistry, symbolizing Earth's peaceful culture. The necklace by itself held enough focused power to slice through 3 meters of strengthened metal. Her ear accessories were miniature transmission units that could broadcast through any recognized interference technology. Jake Morrison's official security outfit looked suitable for a diplomatic assignment. The material held thousands of microscopic protective scales that could stop most energy attacks. His traditional blade was actually a rapid oscillation, cutting tool able to slice through nearly any substance known to the universe. Every person carried comparable hidden gear, arms disguised as diplomatic presence, Protection woven into official garments, transmission equipment built into accessories, detection tools hidden in personal belongings, medical provisions that could neutralize most recognized alien poisons and biological threats. Yet the most crucial equipment they possessed was their expertise. Every person present was a specialist from Earth's most skilled military divisions. They'd prepared in weightless fighting, dangerous environment endurance, and combat against various alien types. They could function as ambassadors when needed, but they were fighters first. "Docking in 3 minutes," Captain Rodriguez announced. Sarah moved to the room's center. "Remember, they believe us to be innocent and powerless. They think humans trust too easily and act too peacefully to survive in their universe. Let them keep that belief as long as we can." Dr. Webb replaced his spectacles and grinned. "It'll be fascinating watching their expressions when they grasp their error." The craft locked onto the landing zone with a gentle bump. Mechanical systems activated, forming an airtight connection between the human ship and the alien facility. Air quality readings confirmed the atmosphere inside Harmony Prime was breathable for humans, just as guaranteed. "Team, ready for departure," Jake Morrison stated in his professional security tone. Sarah guided the group toward the sealed entrance. Each person moved into their planned spot, forming the ideal picture of a peaceful diplomatic visit. Sarah moved with the assurance of someone speaking for her entire world. Dr. Webb held his case and gazed around with the scientists, wonder at seeing alien technology firsthand. "Lisa." Park smiled genuinely and grasped a box of traditional human offerings. The entrance opened, and they stepped onto Harmony Prime. The welcome hall was breathtaking. The roof stretched high overhead with windows revealing the cosmos beyond. Alien construction created flowing curves and graceful shapes that no human structure could duplicate. The ground was formed from some type of mineral that appeared to shine with inner luminescence. 3 clusters of aliens stood ready to receive them. The Zephyrians occupied the right side, their crystal bodies casting light in gorgeous designs. They stood tall and graceful with shapes resembling living art made from transparent and tinted glass. Their commander, Council Member Veltar, came forward with motions that appeared to ripple like liquid. The collective delegates stood in the middle. They resembled humans in general form, though their flesh had a metallic quality, and their vision organs radiated with gentle azure brightness. They moved in flawless harmony, each individual anticipating what the others would perform before they acted. Their representative, Unit 7 Prime, observed the humans with mechanical exactness. The Vortak group filled the left portion of the welcome hall. They were massive and powerful with dense gray flesh and significant bone structures along their heads. They wore military dress marked with awards and distinctions from numerous conflicts. War Commander Thakmore stood with arms folded, examining the humans like a hunter assessing targets. "Welcome to Harmony Prime," Veltar announced, his tone resembling musical notes. "We feel privileged to observe this monumental occasion when humanity enters the universal family." Sarah stepped ahead and bowed gently, a motion of acknowledgement carefully designed to seem modest while preserving self-respect. "We appreciate this chance. Earth looks forward to starting peaceful collaboration with all developed species." Unit 7. Prime continued, its tone flawlessly matched with other collective individuals. "The Harmony Agreement symbolizes a fresh chapter of partnership and mutual respect between our races. We expect you'll accept the conditions as reasonable." War Commander Thakmore made a dismissive sound. "You humans are tinier than I anticipated. Your kind must be extremely peaceful to have persisted without major military growth." Jake Morrison moved forward slightly. "Humanity has consistently chosen discussion over conflict. We hold that intelligent races can settle their disagreements through conversation and mutual understanding." The aliens shared glances they assumed the humans couldn't read. Yet Sarah's group had analyzed alien communication patterns for months. They could interpret the wordless exchange between their hosts. The Zephyrians felt satisfied that the humans appeared properly deferential. The collective was content. Their strategy was advancing as predicted. The Vortak felt certain these fragile visitors would be simple to destroy. "Please accompany us to the formal hall," Veltar declared. "The signing event will commence momentarily." The human team followed their alien guides through Harmony Prime's passages. The facility was even more remarkable inside. Sophisticated technology was integrated into every wall, generating an atmosphere that could accommodate countless different alien races at once. Weight stayed steady. The atmosphere was flawlessly purified, and the warmth was pleasant for all. Dr. Webb gazed around with obvious amazement, posing simple inquiries about the facility's design and systems. His inquiries appeared basic, yet they were actually collecting vital intelligence about protection mechanisms and structural flaws. Lisa Park praised the aliens on their magnificent station and inquired about their varied societies. Her cordial discussion was charting the authority framework and recognizing which aliens truly directed the operation. Jake Morrison walked quietly behind the assembly, apparently just fulfilling his role as security leader. Actually, he was tallying guards, spotting weapon positions, and organizing exit strategies. As they traveled further into the facility, Sarah observed several details that validated their intelligence findings. There were excessive security personnel for a basic diplomatic event. The guards were stationed to restrict departures rather than offer safety. The routes they followed led toward the facility's core, distant from the landing zones and escape paths. Everything was advancing precisely as their captured messages had forecast. They arrived at the formal hall, a massive round space with a curved roof displaying a holographic presentation of celestial bodies and worlds. A huge table occupied the center with the Harmony Agreement file shown on its top. Seats were positioned around the table for all the representatives. "Please be seated," Unit 7 Prime directed. "We'll start the event shortly." The humans occupied their designated spots. Sarah observed their seats were situated in the precise middle of the space, while the alien representatives sat nearer to the boundaries. Dr. Webb modified his spectacles and smiled pleasantly. Lisa Park organized her presence on the table. Jake Morrison stood behind Sarah's seat in the customary spot for a security companion. Veltar triggered a holographic screen showing the Harmony Agreement's text. This file symbolizes months of thoughtful discussion between our kinds. It creates the structure for peaceful partnership and shared advantage. Sarah reviewed the agreement wording, understanding most of it held no real meaning. The genuine objective of this gathering had nothing to do with cooperation or partnership. Yet she kept her diplomatic look and acknowledged properly at important sections. "The agreement appears thorough and equitable," she stated. "Earth is prepared to authorize and start this fresh connection." War Commander Thackmore rose. "Before we continue, there's one remaining issue to handle. Our protection standards demand that all arms be secured before the authorization event starts." Jake Morrison appeared caught off guard. "Naturally. I possess only a traditional blade suitable for my role. It symbolizes respect and custom rather than any danger." "We value your willingness," Thackmore responded. "Nevertheless, our detectors show your team possesses several objects that could potentially serve as arms." Sarah sensed her pulse quicken somewhat, yet she maintained her expression composed. "I'm confused. We possess only customary diplomatic presence and cultural objects." The aliens were initiating their actions sooner than anticipated, yet the human squad was prepared. Veltar's crystal shape started radiating more intensely. "Perhaps there's been a communication error. We merely wish to guarantee everyone's protection during this monumental event." Unit 7. Prime's vision organs flickered. "Our detectors are extremely comprehensive. We can identify even the tiniest potentially harmful objects." Sarah rose gradually, her hands open and empty. "Friends, I promise Earth's team possesses nothing that could endanger this event or anyone here. We arrived here honestly to authorize a Harmony Agreement." She gazed straight at each alien commander sequentially. "Unless, naturally, you think there's some explanation why we might require safety." The critical instant had come. The aliens had to choose whether to maintain the charade or expose their actual plans. Sarah could observe the assessment in their vision as they understood the humans might not be as innocent as they'd believed, yet they'd advanced too far to reverse course now. War Commander Thackmore moved ahead. "I'm concerned there's been a modification of arrangements." The formal hall became quiet as War Commander Thackmore's statement lingered in the atmosphere. Sarah Chen kept her diplomatic bearing, yet every fiber in her frame was prepared for movement. Around the table, her squad continued performing their assigned characters flawlessly, even as the circumstance started moving toward confrontation. Modification of arrangements? Dr. Webb inquired, modifying his spectacles with what seemed like anxious motion. I'm confused. Has there been some difficulty with the agreement discussions? Veltar's crystal shape radiated with frigid azure illumination. Dr. Webb, your kind has been under scrutiny for much longer than you understand. The Universal Council has been tracking Earth's progress since your race initially reached space movement. Unit 7. Prime moved nearer to the table, its metallic characteristics mirroring the holographic presentation of the agreement. Our examination shows that humanity displays certain traits that make incorporation into universal society troublesome. Sarah experienced a chill travel down her back, though not from terror. This was precisely what their intelligence had anticipated. The aliens were about to disclose their actual objective. What traits are those? She inquired, maintaining her tone steady and controlled. War Commander Thakmore started circling around the table, surrounding the human team like a hunter. Hostility, inconsistency, and a troubling inclination toward conflict when challenged. Your kind has waged battles continuously across its existence. Most kinds experience a phase of internal strife before reaching space movement, Lisa Park stated with a genuine smile. Surely that's not remarkable in universal history. The collective delegate angled its head somewhat. Most kinds mastered controlling their hostile tendencies before creating interstellar abilities. Humanity has accomplished the reverse. Your arms technology has progressed quicker than your cultural growth. Dr. Webb leaned ahead with obvious curiosity. That's an intriguing point. Could you offer particular instances of how our progress varies from other kinds? Veltar approached a control station near the boundary. Humans have created over 400 distinct methods to eliminate members of their own kind. You've invented arms able to obliterate entire worlds. Most troubling of all, you persist in enhancing these arms even during peaceful periods. Sarah could perceive where this discussion was heading. The aliens had clearly invested significant effort analyzing humanity, yet they'd reached completely incorrect assessments about what they'd witnessed. I think there may be some confusion about human character. True, we've experienced struggles in our history, yet we've also shown a notable ability for teamwork and peaceful resolution. War Commander Thakmore halted straight behind Jake Morrison's seat. Your security leader here, for instance. Our detectors show he's eliminated over 60 intelligent creatures during his military profession. Jake turned somewhat to regard the Vortak commander. I performed my duty during conflict, defending them from those who would injure innocent people. Every decision I made was protecting others. Precisely our argument, Unit 7 Prime stated. Humans consider conflict an acceptable answer to difficulties. This makes your kind unsuitable with developed universal society. The aliens were committing a basic mistake in their examination. Sarah understood they perceived humanity's ability for conflict as a personality weakness, when actually it was one of their strongest qualities. The capability to battle when required had permitted humans to endure and flourish in a hostile cosmos. So, what precisely are you suggesting? Sarah inquired. If you think humanity is too harmful for universal society, why did you request us here to authorize a harmony agreement? Veltar's appendage approached the control station. The harmony agreement was never meant to accept humanity into our family. It was planned to fulfill a completely different objective. The illumination in the formal hall abruptly shifted from gentle white to severe crimson. Alert signals started blaring across the facility. The holographic presentation of celestial bodies and worlds vanished, substituted by tactical information and arms status displays. Protection restriction activated, an automated tone declared. All individuals stay in assigned locations until additional instruction. Sarah sensed the ground shake somewhat as huge closure panels secured the hall's openings. The graceful formal space had just transformed into a cage, yet she persisted in keeping her diplomatic appearance. This appears like a severe reaction to a basic confusion. Surely we can address any worries you have about humanity in a more developed fashion. War Commander Thakmore made a harsh sound that resonated off the hall boundaries. There will be no addressing. The Universal Council has already determined its choice. You're intending to obliterate Earth. Dr. Webb stated quietly. It wasn't an inquiry. Unit 7 Prime acknowledged. Your homeworld will be made unlivable. Your settlements will be destroyed. Your kind will become vanished within the following few hours. Lisa Park's smile ultimately disappeared. And you brought us here to observe it occur. Veltar triggered another control. The hall's curved roof became see-through, exposing the area around Harmony Prime. Countless alien warcraft hung in the void, their arms mechanisms already powering for an assault on Earth. We desired your commanders to comprehend why this decision was required, the Zephyrian clarified. Your race needs to understand that their vanishing is not the outcome of arbitrary cruelty, yet a thoughtfully evaluated choice made for the superior benefit of all developed kinds. Jake Morrison rose gradually, his appendage moving naturally toward his traditional blade. Instantly, countless arms targeting mechanisms triggered across the hall, all concentrated on the human team. I wouldn't suggest any abrupt actions, War Commander Thackmore cautioned. This hall is furnished with automated protection mechanisms that will react to any detected danger. Sarah gazed around the space, assessing their circumstance. They were confined in a secured hall, encircled by hostile aliens with adequate firepower directed at them to convert their entire team to particles. By any sensible military evaluation, their situation was desperate, which was precisely how they'd arranged it. Before you advance with this elimination, Sarah stated composedly, I'm interested about one detail. How long have you been organizing this action? Veltar appeared satisfied to clarify their thoroughly designed strategy. The initial choice was made 18 months previous, shortly after we identified your initial attempts at faster-than-light transmission. We understood that any kind able to create such technology so rapidly would ultimately become a danger to universal balance. The planning demanded significant work, Unit 7 Prime contributed. 3 significant universal authorities collaborating toward a shared objective is unprecedented in our existence. War. Commander Thackmore motioned toward the battle group, visible through the curved surface. We gathered the biggest combined military strength in universal existence. Over 3,000 crafts symbolizing the finest technology from all our societies, Dr. Webb acknowledged thoughtfully. Remarkable. You've clearly invested a substantial amount of organization into this action. Every aspect has been evaluated, Veltar validated. We even analyzed your diplomatic standards to guarantee this gathering would advance precisely as anticipated. Humans are notably foreseeable once you grasp their fundamental psychological designs. Sarah sensed a grin pulling at her mouth's edges. Foreseeable? True. I suppose we are. The artificial weight in the hall abruptly changed, becoming substantially stronger. The aliens had triggered the facility's weight control mechanisms planned to make it hard for the humans to shift rapidly or arrange any opposition attempts. This is a weight level roughly 3 times what your kind adapted under, War Commander Thackmore clarified. It should be adequate to disable you without producing instant death. We desire you to stay aware to observe the obliteration of your home planet. Lisa Park struggled to stay standing under the heightened gravitational strength. How considerate of you to offer such thoughtful arrangements for your captives. The atmosphere flow mechanism started presenting a refined chemical substance into the hall's air. It was planned to progressively weaken the humans without eliminating them immediately. Another enhancement to guarantee they could watch their kinds vanishing while being incapable to perform any decision to stop it. You aliens certainly understand how to organize an event, Jake Morrison remarked, his breathing becoming somewhat strained from the mixture of strong weight and poisonous air. Unit 7 Prime's vision organs flickered with what might have been satisfaction. We discovered that humans have an inclination toward mockery and levity, even in desperate circumstances. This psychological characteristic was recorded in our conduct examination. Dr. Webb made a light cough as the chemical substances started impacting his breathing mechanism. I have to acknowledge this is all extremely comprehensive. You've clearly predicted every conceivable human reaction to this circumstance. Almost every reaction, Sarah stated quietly. Veltar leaned ahead. What did you state? Sarah gazed straight at the Zephyrian commander, and for the initial instance, since arriving in the hall, she permitted her actual look to display. Eliminated was the diplomatic grin and deferential behavior. In its location was something frigid and assessing that made the crystalline alien retreat a pace. I stated, "You've predicted almost every conceivable human reaction, yet not all of them." War Commander Thackmore approached nearer to the human team. "Clarify. You analyzed our existence, our psychology, our technology, and our diplomatic standards. You recognized our inclination toward conflict and our inconsistent character. You even forecast that we would try to transport arms to a harmony agreement." Sarah's tone stayed composed and constant, despite the poisonous air and overwhelming weight. "All accurate evaluations," Unit 7 Prime validated. "Yet you committed one essential mistake in your examination," Dr. Webb stated, his tone becoming more powerful rather than weaker despite the hostile atmosphere. "Inconceivable," Veltar declared. "Our intelligence collection was exhaustive. We tracked your transmissions, analyzed your military abilities, and examined your cultural designs for over a year." Lisa Park's genuine grin returned, yet now it possessed an edge that none of the aliens had observed previously. "You presumed that because we arrived here understanding it was a snare, we must be either remarkably innocent or totally desperate." Jake Morrison straightened under the strong weight, as if it were producing no impact on him whatsoever. "You never evaluated a third option." "Which is?" War Commander Thackmore requested. Sarah rose from her seat, shifting with flawless comfort despite the gravitational strength that should have been overwhelming her. The poisonous air that should have been weakening her appeared to be producing no impact at all. "That we arrived here understanding it was a snare. Understanding you organized to eliminate us. Understanding you planned to obliterate Earth. And we arrived regardless because we desired to be here." The aliens shared uncertain glances. This was not advancing according to their thoroughly designed strategy. "That's inconceivable," Veltar stated. "No kind would deliberately enter into their own vanishing." "You're completely accurate." Dr. Webb removed his spectacles and wiped them thoroughly, his actions relaxed and composed. "No kind would deliberately enter into their own vanishing." He replaced his spectacles and gazed straight at the alien commanders. "Yet we're not entering into our vanishing. We're entering into yours." Unit 7. Prime's vision organs flickered swiftly as it analyzed this unexpected declaration. Explanation requested. "You are vastly outnumbered. You are confined in a secured hall with no arms. Your entire kind confronts approaching obliteration." Lisa Park made a sound of amusement that somehow appeared more dangerous than any arm. "Oh, we have arms. We just haven't utilized them yet." The hall's automated protection mechanism abruptly identified numerous power patterns from the human team. Alerts started blaring as the facility's computers attempted to examine dangers that shouldn't exist. "Inconceivable," War Commander Thackmore stated harshly. "Our detectors identified no arms. Our sensors would have recognized any harmful technology." Jake Morrison reached for his traditional blade. Instantly, every automated arm in the hall targeted him. Yet instead of eliminating him with power beams, the arms merely produced empty sounds. Their targeting mechanisms flickered and ceased functioning. "Your sensors did identify our arms," he stated composedly. "Every individual one of them. Yet you committed the identical error that every opponent commits when they battle humans." Sarah moved ahead and the aliens could observe that she was totally unimpacted by the hostile atmosphere they'd generated. "You presumed that because you grasped our technology, you could overcome it." The gravitational control mechanism started fluctuating erratically. The poisonous airflow reversed, purifying the atmosphere in the hall. Crisis illumination triggered as the facility's primary power mechanism started experiencing cascading breakdowns. "You overlooked the most crucial detail about human arms," Dr. Webb stated as he opened his case. "What's that?" Veltar whispered. Sarah grinned, and it was the most frightening look any of the aliens had ever observed. "They're planned by humans." Dr. Marcus Webb's case produced a gentle sound as concealed mechanisms triggered. The basic diplomatic box unfolded like a complicated riddle container, exposing parts that shouldn't have been able to accommodate inside such a tiny area. Metal sections extended and linked with exact mechanical actions, gathering themselves into an arm that challenged everything the aliens assumed they understood about human technology. Space compression containment. Dr. Webb clarified conversationally as his case transformed into a sleek energy weapon. We've been developing it for roughly 6 months now. Remarkable what you can achieve when your entire kind is inspired by the understanding that someone is organizing to eliminate them. War Commander Thackmore retreated, his huge frame abruptly appearing tiny and exposed. That's inconceivable. Our intelligence findings showed that humans haven't created space control technology. Sarah Chen's diplomatic outfit started glimmering and changing as concealed microscopic parts triggered. The material strengthened into close-fitting protection that covered her entire frame, while information screens triggered in her vision and targeting mechanisms activated. Your intelligence findings were completely accurate, she stated, her tone now possessing a moderate electronic enhancement from the protection's transmission mechanisms. 6 months previous, humans had no space control technology. Yet you committed an essential mistake in your organization. Lisa Park's traditional jewelry was radiating now, each section transforming from basic cultural objects into advanced pieces of military gear. Her necklace extended into a molecular destroyer that vibrated with barely held power. Her ear accessories projected a holographic tactical screen showing the entire design of Harmony Prime, including the locations of every alien guard and protective mechanism. You provided us 18 months to arrange for this gathering, Lisa stated pleasantly. 18 months to create fresh technology particularly planned to oppose everything you might utilize against us. The automated protection mechanisms in the hall were producing sparks and smoke now, their targeting computers overwhelmed by sensor information that produced no logic. The arms that should have been eliminating the human team were instead obliterating themselves as their internal mechanisms attempted to analyze inconceivable information. Jake Morrison's traditional blade completed its transformation into a rapid oscillation cutting implement. The graceful traditional arm now resembled something from humanity's darkest imaginings, planned particularly to slice through alien protection and protective obstacles. Every section of gear we transported here was planned to overcome particular alien technologies, he clarified, evaluating the equilibrium of his transformed arm. Your crystal-based power barriers, your collective consciousness transmission networks, your quantum-secured protection mechanisms. We analyzed them all. Unit 7. Prime's vision organs were flickering swiftly now, attempting to analyze information that opposed every assessment it had performed. This degree of technological progress should have been identified by our monitoring mechanisms. Our tracking of Earth transmissions revealed no suggestion of such swift growth. Dr. Webb modified his spectacles, which Sarah now understood were much more than basic vision adjustment instruments. The lenses were examining the aliens in the hall, evaluating vulnerable sections and tactical chances with inhuman exactness. That's because we created all of this technology utilizing totally physical mechanisms, he stated. No digital transmissions, no computer networks, no electronic patterns that your sensors could identify. Everything was planned and constructed, utilizing traditional human creativity and physical construction. The hall's closure panels, which had secured them inside this snare, started groaning and bending. Narrow fractures appeared in the strengthened alien metal as something started slicing through from outside. Veltar's crystal shape was radiating with swift, panicked illumination designs. There are no other humans on this facility. Our protection mechanisms would have identified any extra individuals. You're completely accurate, Sarah validated. There are no other humans on this facility. The closure panels burst inward, exposing a smoking opening that had been sliced through 3 meters of strengthened metal. Yet instead of rescue forces, a tiny mechanical instrument floated through the opening. It was roughly round, covered in sensors and handler appendages, clearly of human design. Meet our fresh companions, Lisa Park stated proudly. Independent construction automatons. We released roughly 200 of them from our craft the instant we connected. Jake Morrison's tactical screen illuminated with contact indicators across the facility. They've been moving through your maintenance passages and utility tunnels, For the previous 30 minutes, charting your mechanisms and recognizing essential vulnerabilities. The small automaton that had arrived in the hall extended a transmission antenna and projected a holographic communication. It was Captain Rodriguez from their transport craft, yet he was no longer dressed in a basic pilot's outfit. Instead, he was clothed in complete military combat gear, positioned on what seemed like a craft's command area that resembled nothing like the peaceful transport ship that had transported them here. Ambassador Chen, we have effectively penetrated all primary mechanisms on Harmony Prime. Construction squads are prepared for your commands. War Commander Thakmore's expression darkened with fury and bewilderment. Your transport craft was examined completely before connecting. It revealed no arms, no military gear, no concealed abilities. Sarah grinned. That's because it wasn't concealing anything. The craft you examined truly was precisely what it seemed to be, a basic diplomatic transport with no arms or military mechanisms. Dr. Webb linked his energy weapon to a power origin that appeared from his outfit. The craft you didn't examine was the one concealing straight underneath it, utilizing responsive camouflage to match our transport's power pattern precisely. The holographic projection of Captain Rodriguez expanded to reveal the command area around him. It was clearly a military coordination center with arm controls, tactical screens, and team individuals in complete combat protection. The diplomatic transport was a false target, he clarified. Our actual craft is a prototype concealment destroyer planned particularly for this assignment. We've been linked to your facility's exterior since the instant we came. Unit 7. Prime analyzed this information with visible distress. Concealment. Technology of that advancement should be inconceivable for a kind that only reached faster than light movement 15 years previous. Lisa Park's molecular destroyer started powering with a sharp whine. You persist stating details should be inconceivable for humans. You might desire to reconsider your presumptions about what humans can achieve when we're correctly inspired. The hall's atmospheric mechanisms totally shut down as the independent automatons reached essential control points across the facility. Crisis illumination flickered on and off as power mechanisms fluctuated erratically. You observe, Sarah clarified, moving gradually toward the alien commanders. You committed the identical error that every opponent of humanity has committed across our existence. You presumed that because you grasped our present abilities, you could forecast our future abilities. Jake Morrison shifted to surround the aliens, his oscillation blade vibrating with lethal power. Humans don't just modify to dangers. We adapted to oppose them. You provided us a particular challenge, and we created particular answers. Dr. Webb directed his energy weapon at the hall's primary control station. For instance, you utilized weight control to attempt to disable us. So, we created personal weight balancers constructed into our protection mechanisms. He discharged once, and the control station burst in a shower of electric fragments. The overwhelming gravitational strength in the hall instantly returned to normal degrees. You utilized atmospheric poisons to weaken us, Lisa Park persisted. So, we created biological purifiers that transform your poison into breathable atmosphere. She triggered a control on her destroyer, and the atmosphere in the hall started, purifying swiftly as her gear analyzed and neutralized the alien poisons. You secured us in this hall to stop departure, Sarah contributed. So, we transported our own entrance. The independent automaton that had sliced through the closure panels was accompanied by several others, each one possessing different implements and gear. They started establishing what seemed like a portable coordination center right there in the formal hall. Veltar retreated against the boundary, his crystal shape now radiating with terror rather than assurance. This is inconceivable. No kind creates this swiftly. Adaptation doesn't function that method. Adaptation doesn't, Jake Morrison concurred. Yet construction does, and humans are extremely capable builders. Captain Rodriguez's holographic picture updated to reveal tactical screens of the entire facility. Ambassador, we have command of primary power, life support, transmissions, and navigation mechanisms. The alien battle group is still stationed for their assault on Earth, yet they don't understand we're here yet, Sarah acknowledged. Outstanding performance, Captain. Begin Phase 2. War Commander Thakmore attempted to trigger a crisis transmitter, yet his instrument produced sparks and ceased functioning as soon as he contacted it. What is Phase 2? Dr. Webb reloaded his energy weapon with ammunition that absolutely hadn't been in his case when they came. Phase 2 is where we address your battle group. Through the see-through curved roof, the aliens could observe their thoroughly stationed warcraft starting to shift in unexpected methods. Craft that should have been keeping formation were drifting out of location. Arms mechanisms that should have been powering for an assault on Earth were shutting down instead. Our automatons didn't just penetrate Harmony Prime, Lisa Park clarified cheerfully, while you were so concentrated on examining our little diplomatic transport, they were releasing themselves toward every craft in your battle group. Unit 7. Prime's vision organs flickered frantically as it attempted to contact the collective battle group leaders. Transmission with battle group resources has been ended. All coordination and control networks are non-reactive. Sarah approached the alien transmission console and positioned her appendage on the control top. Her protection interfaced straight with the alien technology, providing her entry to mechanisms that should have been totally unsuitable with human gear. Remarkable how much you can achieve with 18 months of arrangement, and the complete certainty that someone is attempting to eliminate you, she reflected as alien technical information scrolled across her information screen. Jake Morrison stationed himself between the alien commanders and the hall's secondary departures, efficiently confining them in their own cage. The wonderful detail about human construction is that we don't just construct arms. We construct arms that construct other arms. On the tactical screens, the alien battle group was clearly in difficulty. Craft were indicating mechanism breakdowns, navigation mistakes, and arms breakdowns. What had been the most powerful military strength in universal existence was swiftly becoming a collection of powerless ships drifting in area. Each automaton that arrived at your craft possessed creation gear, Dr. Webb clarified. They've been constructing extra automatons inside your craft for the previous 20 minutes. Your protection mechanisms couldn't identify them because they're expanding rather than being gathered. Veltar's crystal framework was starting to fracture under pressure. Expanding? What do you signify expanding? Biological construction, Sarah stated plainly. We absorbed lessons from every kind we've contacted. Crystal expansion from the Zephyrians, collective coordination from the collective consciousness, group hunting strategies from the Vortac. Then we enhanced on all of them. The hall filled with gentle mechanical sounds as more independent automatons arrived through the destroyed entrance. These were distinct from the initial ones, clearly planned for particular duties related to subduing alien technology and individuals. The automatons on your craft aren't just damaging your mechanisms, Lisa Park persisted. They're learning how your technology functions, duplicating your most sophisticated abilities and broadcasting that information back to Earth. Captain Rodriguez's picture updated again. Ambassador, we now have total technical details for Zephyrian power control, collective quantum processing, and Vortac protective mechanisms. Our construction squads calculate they can incorporate these technologies into human mechanisms within 6 months. War Commander Thakmore slumped against the boundary, his military bearing ultimately broken. You're not just overcoming us, you're taking our technology. Jake Morrison acknowledged approvingly. Now you're starting to grasp how humans actually function. Unit 7, Prime made one final attempt to contact its battle group. This cannot be occurring. The collective has organized for every conceivable situation. No, Sarah rectified. You organized for every situation you could picture. Yet you're not human. You don't reason like humans. You can't forecast what humans will perform because you basically don't grasp what humans are. Dr. Webb approached the alien commanders, his arm directed at them, yet his look almost understanding. You observed our existence of conflict and determined that we were harmfully aggressive. You were accurate about the harmful aspect, yet incorrect about the hostility. We're not aggressive, Lisa Park clarified. We're flexible. We battle when we must, yet only when we must, and only until the danger is destroyed. The difficulty, Sarah persisted, is that you chose to endanger not just us, yet our entire kind, our families, our offspring, our future. You made it individual. Through the curved roof, they could observe the alien battle group starting to separate. Not from arms discharge, yet from internal mechanism breakdowns as the human automatons finished their performance. Craft that had required decades to construct were being methodically disabled by machines no bigger than a human hand. So we performed what humans perform when someone endangers our family, Jake Morrison stated quietly. We determined how to succeed. Veltar produced a sound resembling shattering glass. This was intended to be inconceivable. Our examination revealed that you couldn't conceivably have created these abilities. Your examination was accurate, Sarah acknowledged. 6 months previous, this would have been inconceivable, yet you overlooked something crucial about humans. She motioned toward the tactical screens revealing the destroyed alien battle group. We don't stay inconceivable for very extended. The quietness in the formal hall was interrupted only by the gentle vibrating of human technology and the distant sounds of mechanisms breaking down across Harmony Prime. The 3 alien commanders stood against the boundary, their thoroughly organized snare having become their own cage. Sarah Chen analyzed the tactical screens with expert curiosity. Observing as the biggest military battle group in universal existence was methodically disabled by machines tiny enough to accommodate in her pocket. Captain Rodriguez, she stated to the holographic projection, what's the condition of the alien leadership framework? The picture of the craft's commander updated to reveal a wider perspective of the concealment destroyer's command area. Sarah could observe countless individuals performing at stations that absolutely hadn't existed on the basic transport craft the aliens had examined. All battle group leaders are demanding instant transmission with their individual leadership authorities, Captain Rodriguez indicated. Craft-to-craft coordination has been totally interrupted. Most ships are functioning on crisis power only. Dr. Webb maintained his energy weapon directed on the alien commanders while tracking information flows from his spectacles. The fascinating detail about your battle group structure is how reliant it was on centralized coordination and control. Extremely productive for coordinated assaults, yet notably exposed to methodical interruption. War Commander Thakmore attempted once more to trigger his individual transmitter, yet the instrument stayed inactive. How did you breach our quantum-protected transmissions? That technology has never been damaged. Lisa Park grinned brilliantly, her molecular destroyer still vibrating with held power. We didn't breach your transmissions. We substituted them. She motioned to one of the independent automatons, which projected a holographic screen revealing the interior of a Vortak battlecraft. Human-planned organisms were observable across the craft's passages, resembling a combination between mechanical instruments and living organisms. Our biological automatons didn't just disable your mechanisms, she clarified. They incorporated with them. Your craft are still obtaining transmissions. Yet now those transmissions are originating from us instead of your battle group leaders. Unit 7. Prime's vision organs flickered swiftly as it analyzed this information. Biological technology. Incorporation should be inconceivable without comprehensive understanding of our biomechanical connections. Jake. Morrison modified his hold on his oscillation. Blade, you invested 18 months analyzing humanity. Did you truly think we weren't analyzing you at the identical moment? Sarah approached the hall's primary transmission console, her protection connecting flawlessly with the alien technology. Every diplomatic contact, every cultural interaction, every section of information you distributed about your societies, we examined all of it. The tactical screen expanded to reveal not just Harmony Prime and the surrounding battle group, yet star charts covering countless star mechanisms. Crimson indicators showed Zephyrian planets. Azure revealed collective regions, and gray designated Vortak military locations. We understand the position of every significant military installation, every construction facility, every leadership center in your regions, Dr. Webb stated conversationally. Our automatons have been occupied while we've been conversing. Veltar's crystal shape was now penetrated with pressure fractures. That's inconceivable. You've been here for less than an hour. Our automatons have been functioning for much longer than that, Sarah rectified. We released the initial wave the instant our intelligence operation intercepted your transmissions about this gathering. They've had 6 weeks to arrive at your home mechanisms. Captain Rodriguez's holographic picture updated to reveal a universe-wide tactical chart. Thousands of miniature contacts were observable across alien area, each one symbolizing a human automaton that had penetrated essential infrastructure. The wonderful detail about biological construction, Lisa Park persisted, is that it's self-duplicating. Each automaton that arrives at a target can generate countless more utilizing local substances. War Commander Thakmore's military bearing ultimately fractured totally. You're discussing an invasion, strength of trillions of microscopic arms. Not arms, Jake Morrison rectified. Implements. The inquiry is what we select to perform with them. Sarah turned from the transmission console to confront the alien commanders straight. That transports us to an fascinating point. You transported us here organizing to perform elimination against humanity. You gathered the biggest battle group in universal existence to obliterate our home planet and destroy our kind. Unit 7. Prime's metallic characteristics revealed no sentiment, yet its tone possessed a note of uncertainty. Our examination showed that humanity presented an unacceptable danger to universal balance. Your examination was incorrect, Dr. Webb stated plainly. Humans aren't a danger to universal balance. We're a danger to universal stagnation. The holographic screens around the hall changed to reveal historical information about the 3 alien societies. Population numbers, technological growth rates, regional expansion designs, and military struggles over the previous 1,000 years. The Zephyrians reached interstellar movement 8,000 years previous, Sarah interpreted from the information. Since then, your technology has progressed roughly 12%. Your population has expanded by less than 5%. Your region has expanded to incorporate precisely 4 extra-star mechanisms. Veltar's illumination design changed to what Sarah now understood as protective fury. The Zephyrian society values balance and excellence. We don't pursue modification for its own purpose. The collective has existed for 4,000 years, Lisa Park persisted. In that duration, you've reached flawless unity of reasoning and objective. You've also halted creating entirely. Every collective planet is identical to every other collective planet. Unit 7. Prime's reaction was foreseeable mechanical. Consistency destroys struggle and waste. The collective has reached optimal resource distribution and cultural harmony. Jake Morrison motioned toward the Vortak commander. The Vortak have been battling the identical 3 border struggles for over 2 millennia. Your military approaches haven't modified in 1,500 years. Your arms technology is basically identical to what your ancestors utilized 1,000 years previous. War Commander Thakmore's expression darkened. Vortak military teaching has been perfected through centuries of battle expertise. Modification would only present weakness and uncertainty. Sarah moved gradually around the hall, her protection sensors persisting to examine the alien technology and the tactical circumstance. 3 societies, each one symbolizing thousands of years of stagnation, flawless in your own perspectives, yet totally unable of expansion or flexibility. Dr. Webb reduced his energy weapon somewhat, though he maintained it prepared for instant utilization. Then humanity comes. A kind that progressed from basic agriculture to interstellar movement in less than 10,000 years. A kind that has never halted modifying, expanding, flexing, enhancing. We frightened you, Lisa Park understood. Not because we're aggressive, yet because we symbolize everything you've selected not to be. The hall's atmospheric mechanisms had been totally restored by the human automatons. Yet fresh alterations were becoming observable. The atmosphere itself appeared to glimmer somewhat as microscopic. Machines performed to optimize the air for human biology while keeping life support for the aliens. You observed our swift technological growth and determined we were harmful, Sarah persisted. You were accurate, yet not in the method you assumed. We're harmful to your pleasant stagnation, Captain Rodriguez's picture updated again. Ambassador, we're obtaining transmission demands from over 300 alien planets. It seems information is distributing about the circumstance here. Jake Morrison verified his tactical screen. Are they transmitting support? Negative. They're demanding diplomatic contact with Earth. It appears that several younger alien societies are extremely curious about humanity's swift growth abilities. Unit 7 Prime analyzed this. Information with obvious distress. Inconceivable. The Universal Council keeps strict supervision of all interspecies contact. The Universal Council, Sarah stated with a moderate grin, seems to be experiencing some technical challenges at the instant. The holographic screens changed to reveal the Council's primary headquarters, a huge space facility in a neutral star mechanism. Human automatons were observable across the location, and alien officials were clearly struggling with widespread mechanism breakdowns. You observe, Dr. Webb clarified, while you were organizing to destroy humanity's leadership, we were organizing something more thorough. War Commander Thakmore appeared bewildered and overcome. What could be more thorough than elimination? Transformation, Lisa Park stated cheerfully. The tactical screens expanded to reveal the entire universe. Countless alien societies were designated on the chart, yet Sarah could observe that many of them were not aligned with the three significant authorities. Smaller kinds, younger societies, planets that had been suppressed or disregarded by the established universal structure. The Universal Council wasn't just organizing to destroy humanity, Sarah clarified. You were organizing to destroy the concept of humanity. The option that a kind could create swiftly, could modify and expand, could become something superior than what they started as. Jake Morrison acknowledged approvingly. Yet concepts are more difficult to eliminate than individuals. Captain Rodriguez's holographic projection revealed transmission passages opening across the universe. Ambassador, we're now in contact with over 50 non-council kinds. Many of them have been creating sophisticated technology in secrecy, concerned to expose their abilities because of council limitations. The Andromedans have created faster-than-light transmission that makes our mechanisms appear basic, he persisted. The Helix Consortium has invented matter assemblers that can construct anything from basic particles. The Wanderer Alliance has craft that can move between universes. Veltar's crystal framework was persisting to fracture. This is inconceivable. The Council tracks all technological growth. No kind can progress without our understanding. No kind can progress without your understanding, Dr. Webb rectified. Yet it appears that countless kinds have been progressing without your authorization. The universe chart, updated to reveal technological interaction networks that had been concealed from the significant authorities, transmission lines, exchange paths, and research collaborations that existed totally outside the Council's supervision. You generated a universal society based on stagnation and supervision, Sarah stated. Yet you overlooked that intelligence and interest are basic properties of existence. You can suppress them for a period, yet you can't destroy them. Lisa Park's gear identified fresh power patterns approaching Harmony Prime. We have incoming craft, yet they're not revealing Council recognition codes. Those would be our fresh companions, Jake Morrison clarified. Representatives from roughly 30 distinct kinds that have been anticipating someone to challenge the established structure. Through the curved roof, they could observe fresh craft coming. These ships were clearly constructed utilizing technologies that the Council kinds had never observed previously. Sleek, productive plans that made the huge alien battlecraft appear clumsy and outdated. The transformation isn't just about humanity, Sarah understood. We were just the trigger. Unit 7 Prime made one ultimate attempt to contact collective leadership. The results of this interruption will be devastating. Universal society demands structure and balance. Universal society demands expansion and modification, Dr. Webb opposed. Structure and balance are just implements to enable that expansion. When they become barriers instead, they need to be substituted. War Commander Thakmore gazed around the hall, absorbing the sophisticated human technology, the tactical screens revealing the disabled battle group, and the transmission passages that were reshaping universal politics in actual duration. What occurs now? He inquired quietly. Sarah Chen regarded the three alien commanders who had organized to perform elimination against her kind. Commanders who symbolized thousands of years of technological and cultural stagnation. Commanders whose pleasant supervised universe was being transformed by the very kind they had attempted to destroy. Now, she stated, we compose a genuine harmony agreement. 3 hours afterward, the formal hall on Harmony Prime appeared extremely distinct. The closure panels had been totally removed, substituted by an open archway that permitted free motion between the hall and the remainder of the facility. The threatening arm mechanisms had been disabled and transformed into transmission arrays. Most crucially, the space was no longer a cage planned to contain humanity's commanders while their kind was destroyed. Sarah Chen occupied the central table, no longer dressed in her diplomatic outfit. Instead, she dressed in the functional gray and azure outfit of Earth's Interstellar Protection Corps with rank symbols that clearly recognized her as a military leader rather than a basic ambassador. Across from her occupied delegates from over 40 distinct alien kinds, many of whom had never been allowed to engage in universal politics before today. Dr. Webb performed at a portable workstation, his sophisticated spectacles projecting holographic screens that revealed technical details being distributed between human and alien constructors. The energy weapon had been disassembled and contained, yet the parts stayed observable as a reminder of how rapidly the circumstance had modified. Lisa Park shifted between distinct clusters of aliens, her molecular destroyer having been transformed into a universal translator that could handle the complicated linguistic variations of kinds the Universal Council had never troubled to learn about. Her genuine grin was authentic now, no longer concealing lethal plans behind diplomatic courtesy. Jake Morrison stood near the primary transmission array, coordinating with protection strengths from countless distinct planets. His oscillation blade had been secured, yet his tactical screens revealed protective locations across the universe as the fresh alliance established itself. The 3 former council commanders occupied together at a smaller table, no longer in locations of authority, yet still present as delegates of their races. Their looks revealed a mixture of overcome, bewilderment, and reluctant acknowledgement for what humanity had achieved. The conditions of the fresh agreement are actually quite basic, Sarah clarified to the gathered representatives. No kind has the authority to decide the destiny of another kind. No administration can limit technological growth or cultural interaction between consenting societies. No military strength can be utilized to enforce stagnation or stop legitimate expansion. Veltar's crystal shape had been restored by human medical technology, yet his illumination design stayed subdued. These conditions would basically modify the framework of universal society. The council mechanism has kept harmony for over 3,000 years. The council mechanism has kept supervision for over 3,000 years, rectified Ambassador Kai of the Andromedan Republic. There's a major distinction between harmony and suppression. The Andromedans were tall, slender creatures with flesh that appeared to hold swirling universes of illumination. They had created in separation beyond the universe's boundary, generating technology that made even human creations appear basic. Their faster-than-light transmission mechanisms had made today's coordination conceivable. Unit 7. Prime's mechanical tone possessed a note of acceptance. The collective assesses that opposition to these modifications would produce the total dissolution of our present governmental framework. That's the concept, concurred Captain Morin of the Helix Consortium. Your governmental framework was planned to stop precisely the type of partnership we're observing today. The Helix kind resembled living metal sculptures, their frames composed of flowing silvery substance that could reshape itself at desire. They had invested centuries concealing their matter assembly technology from the Council, concerned of being identified as too harmful for universal society. War Commander Thackmore communicated with the exhausted tone of a fighter who had ultimately accepted overcome. The Vortak military recognizes that our strategic presumptions were basically incorrect. We underestimated not only human abilities, yet the degree of technological growth across the universe. Dr. Webb regarded up from his workstation. That's the detail about technological suppression. It doesn't actually halt creation. It just drives it underground and makes it more harmful when it ultimately emerges. The holographic screens around the hall revealed a universe that resembled nothing like the thoroughly supervised regions the Council had kept. Transmission networks extended between previously separated planets. Research collaborations were forming between kinds that had never been permitted to contact each other. Exchange agreements were being discussed utilizing technologies that officially didn't exist. The inquiry now, Sarah persisted, is whether the established authorities desire to be part of this fresh society or stay separated in their stagnant regions. Admiral Vexathara of the Wanderer Alliance leaned ahead with curiosity. We've been moving between universes for over 1,000 years, recording societies and technologies beyond anything the Council ever pictured. We'd be pleased to distribute that understanding with anyone curious about genuine advancement. The Wanderers seemed to be formed of living starlight, their shapes changing between solid substance and pure power. They had created transportation technology that could traverse intergalactic distances in days rather than millennia. Jake Morrison updated his tactical screens. The instant protection circumstances balanced. The former Council battle groups have been totally neutralized, yet without permanent harm. Most of the teams are demanding refuge with the Alliance planets rather than returning to their home mechanisms. Lisa Park completed configuring the Universal Translator and returned to the primary table. Cultural interaction standards are being established as we communicate. It appears that most kinds have been suppressing artistic and intellectual growth along with technological creation. There's going to be a remarkable renaissance once information starts flowing freely. Captain Rodriguez's holographic picture appeared above the transmission array. Ambassador, we're obtaining demands for Earth citizenship from over 12 million individuals across 47 distinct planets. It appears that humanity's reputation for flexibility and expansion has distributed quite swiftly. Sarah grinned. Inform them we'll be pleased to address immigration standards once we establish correct diplomatic relations with their home administrations. She turned back to the gathered representatives. Which transports us to the functional implementation of this fresh agreement. The holographic screens changed to reveal organizational charts and governmental frameworks. Instead of the rigid hierarchy the Council had kept, the fresh alliance resembled a complicated network with numerous centers of coordination and partnership. Each kind keeps total sovereignty over their internal matters, Sarah clarified. Yet all kinds commit to open technological and cultural interaction with any other kind that demands it. Veltar's illumination designs brightened somewhat. And if struggles arise between kinds with extremely distinct values or objectives, then we settle them through discussion, mediation, and mutual understanding, answered Elder Thassara of the Quantum Collective. The identical method intelligent creatures have been settling struggles since the beginning of society. The Quantum Collective were creatures of pure reasoning who existed in numerous dimensions at once. They had been creating philosophical and mathematical concepts that could transform understanding of reality itself. Yet the Council had prohibited them from distributing their insights. War Commander Thackmore gazed around the hall at the countless kinds he had never understood existed. What about military struggles? There will unavoidably be disagreements that cannot be settled peacefully. Jake Morrison motioned toward his tactical screens. Military decision stays an option for legitimate self-protection, yet any kind that begins hostile decision against another. Alliance individual will confront instant reaction. From the combined protection strengths of all individual planets, Unit 7. Prime analyzed this information with observable assessment. A mutual protection agreement covering 43 kinds with unidentified technological abilities. The strategic implications are thorough. That's the objective, Dr. Webb stated as he distributed technical details with a cluster of alien constructors. No individual kind, no matter how sophisticated, can endanger the Alliance as a whole, yet every kind advantages from the combined understanding and abilities of all the others. The hall filled with quiet discussion as delegates from distinct planets started discussing particular agreements. Research collaborations, exchange arrangements, cultural interactions, and protective agreements were being formed between kinds that had been maintained apart for millennia. Sarah approached where the three former council commanders occupied together. You're welcome to participate in the Alliance as equal individuals. Your races have valuable contributions to make, and their understanding and expertise would advantage everyone. Veltar regarded up at her with genuine interest. After what we attempted to perform to your kind, you would rely on us as allies? Reliance has to be obtained, Sarah acknowledged. Yet everyone deserves the chance to obtain it. Unit 7. Prime's vision organs flickered thoughtfully. The collective demands duration to analyze these fresh parameters and modify our cultural algorithms accordingly. Absorb all the duration you need, Lisa Park stated genuinely. The Alliance isn't departing anywhere. War Commander Thakmore rose gradually. The Vortak will need to restructure our entire military teaching. We've been arranging to battle conflicts of conquest and suppression. We have no expertise with partnership protection, Jake Morrison acknowledged respectfully. We'd be privileged to assist with that transition. Humans have significant expertise with modifying military teachings to meet fresh circumstances. Captain Rodriguez's picture updated with fresh information. Ambassador, I'm obtaining a priority transmission from Earth. President Williams desires to address the Alliance straight. Proceed, Sarah demanded. The holographic screen expanded to reveal President Williams in the Oval Office. Yet she was not alone. Behind her stood delegates from Earth's significant nations, all dressed in looks of pride and resolve. To our fresh companions across the universe, President Williams started. Humanity is privileged to be part of this monumental alliance. We promise to distribute our understanding, our resources, and our commitment to expansion and advancement with all kinds willing to participate us in constructing a superior future. She paused, regarding straight at the camera. We also desire to be extremely clear about one detail. The universe is big enough for everyone to expand and flourish. Yet it's not big enough for anyone to stop others from expanding and flourishing. The alien representatives listened to this communication with looks ranging from hope to uncertainty to genuine enthusiasm. The old universe is concluding, President Williams persisted. A universe of stagnation, supervision, and artificial restrictions. The fresh universe is starting today, a universe of partnership, creation, and unlimited potential. As the transmission concluded, Sarah gazed around the hall at the delegates of countless planets. Kinds that ranged from crystal power creatures to mechanical collectives to living starlight. Each one symbolized thousands or millions of years of growth, yet also thousands or millions of years of suppressed potential. The Harmony Agreement was intended to be a snare, she stated to the gathered representatives. It was planned to destroy humanity before we could endanger the established structure. She motioned toward the holographic screens revealing the fresh alliance forming across the universe. Yet, it appears that the established structure was the genuine snare, a snare that captured every kind in stagnation and stopped the universe from arriving at its genuine potential. Dr. Webb saved his performance and regarded up from his technical discussions. Today we release that snare. Lisa Park grinned as she observed alien offspring from countless distinct kinds playing together in the facility's viewing locations. Their distinct biologies and technologies combining in methods that generated totally fresh options. Today, she concurred, the universe matures. Jake Morrison's tactical screens revealed protection battle groups from 43 distinct planets, assuming locations across Alliance area. Not to endanger or supervise, yet to safeguard the expansion and growth that was ultimately being permitted to flourish. And tomorrow, he contributed, we discover just how far that expansion can transport us. Sarah Chen regarded out through the hall's see-through curved surface at the celestial bodies beyond. Somewhere among those celestial bodies was Earth, the planet that had been targeted for destruction because its race refused to halt expanding and modifying. Now that identical refusal to accept restrictions was distributing across the universe, possessed by kinds that had been anticipating millennia for the opportunity to arrive at their genuine potential. The Harmony Agreement had indeed been a snare, yet in the conclusion it had confined the accurate targets. Humanity had transported their arms to a Harmony Agreement, not because they were aggressive, yet because they grasped that genuine harmony could only exist between equals, and sometimes equality had to be obtained at gunpoint. Now the universe would learn what humans had consistently understood. The only detail more harmful than a kind willing to battle for their liberty was a kind willing to distribute that liberty with everyone else. The celestial bodies appeared somewhat more brilliant as the fresh alliance started its performance.